Welcome back, daily viewers, for a special early bird coverage of the 2020 Democratic primaries. I'm your host, Diego Santos,
I'm Paul Beltran.
and today we will go in depth in the election coverage where the debate seats are still up for grabs. Today we'll start off in the state of Iowa, which is one of the frontloader states. For those who don't know, a frontloader state is a state that has more impact on elections since it is one of the more earlier ones to participate. We now go live to Louis Liu, who is on site at one of the conventions.
Thanks, Diego. I'm here live in Des Moines, Iowa, where the Democratic candidates have set up their booths and has racked up a crowd, as you can see behind me. The booths range from Joe Biden's golden, diamond-studded stage, paid for entirely by campaign donations from PACs, super PACs, and individual donations, to Kirsten Gillibrand's Home Depot plywood shack, funded entirely by canned food drives and panhandling. Along with us are rival news channels such as those Fox and CNN scumbags who only seem to be interviewing Biden's campaign through his recognizable face and name recognition. Oh, Mr. Biden, do you have a quick moment?
Sure, but make it quick. I'm about to meet with the head of Environmental Defense Fund to discuss future potentials legislation proposals.
What do you think your chances are against Trump?
I believe that I have good chances because a lot of people seem to not want Trump back in office, and big changes are needed for this country to be successful.
Climate change seems to be a hot ticket item for the upcoming elections. Do you have any current ideas?
If I am elected as president, I will use my informal power to propose legislation to carry out my plan of net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. I would also use executive orders to apply more aggressive rules on the uses of gases.
And how exactly will you propose to get it accomplished?
Well, during the honeymoon period, where Congress will most likely pass my proposals as they want to experiment with new ideas with the new president. I will pressure Congress to pass legislation limiting the amount of greenhouse gas emissions and propose a $1.7 trillion budget for Congress to work with. Even though I, as president, will not be able to directly pass said proposals, since the power of the purse and sword are separated between me and the boys back in Congress, but hopefully the amount of clout I have obtained as president will be sufficient enough to pressure Congress into passing.
Sounds good. Thank you for your time, and back to you in the studio.
So far, Joe Biden seems to have the highest chances of getting nominated by the Democratic Party to be the presidential candidate at the Democratic National Convention.
As you can see to the Reddit meet, Joe Biden is in a lead of 35% of Democratic primary voters, with Sanders following at 17, Warren at 9, Buttigieg at 6, and Harris at 5th in last place.
But other candidates may have a chance, as Biden's views on abortion are unpopular with his party. His runner-up Bernie Sanders is supported by progressives because of his pro-choice views on abortion. Furthermore, unlike Joe Biden, Democratic candidates like Gillibrand, Booker, and Warren wish to make abortion more accessible, as Trump and conservative-leaning justices try to overturn Roe v. Wade, a Supreme Court case that determined that the 14th Amendment provide a fundamental right to privacy through substantive due process, which means dealing with the substance rather than the procedure of the case.
And speaking of Trump, as of now, there are only 2 confirmed candidates running for the Republican Party: current President Donald Trump and former state government Bill Weld. President Trump has tweeted that he will declare his second run for presidency in the 2012 elections, and if he's to win, then he'll be granted his second presidential term, which is basically another 4 years that he will spend in office. However, if he's to win once more, it will definitely be his last, due to the 22nd Amendment limiting a president to run for a maximum of 2 terms.
Great observation, Paul. Currently, Donald Trump's campaign strategy of advertising through social media, which have been heavily used in the 2016 elections, and it seems like this year it's no different. In the past year, Donald Trump has spent more money on Facebook ads out of all the 2020 presidential candidates. However, Democratic candidate Joe Biden has spent $1 million in the past month, outspending Trump in Facebook ads. This usage of social media shows how candidates tend to have candidate-centered campaigns through social media rather than relying on their own parties to campaign for them, as social media continually becomes more mainstream over the years.
That is correct, Diego. Although his social media campaign might not be enough to make up for his recent decisions, previously this month, Donald Trump has threatened to enact up to a 25% tariff on Mexico unless they deal with the problems of illegal immigration. While he cannot directly enact this tariff, as regulating international commerce is a power of Congress, he may instead hold meetings with legislature, one of his informal powers. These actions against illegal immigration suggest that it will be a major part of his 2020 election bid, a key issue that many Democratic candidates have failed to form detailed opinions on.
Was that right, Paul?
Yeah, currently only 3 candidates: former Housing Secretary Julian Castro, former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke, and Washington government Jay Inslee have released detailed plans for reforming the immigration system.
It's quite interesting. This may prompt some immigration-cautious Democratic voters to vote for Trump. And with the help of a campaign, which is also an organized and active method used to gain support from the people, President Trump will aim to win the votes from the states of New Mexico, Nevada, and New Hampshire, despite losing the 3 in the 2016 elections, as a result of their favorability towards the Democratic Party. More news on the briefly mentioned Republican candidate known as Bill Weld. Bill Weld's chances at winning the presidency don't seem too great, as a recent Gallup poll shows that approximately 89% of Republicans approve of the president. And also, Weld's campaign had apparently been rejected without much hesitation. As the Republican National Convention said, and I quote, "Any effort to challenge the president's nomination is bound to go absolutely nowhere."
Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. Tune in tonight for our bonus behind-the-scenes coverage. See you tomorrow at 9.